Okay, that's all we need.
Peace is something that you really have to work for. It just doesn't come to you on a plate. And I think having a day like this focuses worldwide attention on the necessity for everyone to regard peace as their business and not just regard it as the job of someone up there in a high place somewhere. It's everyone's business to put the pressure on and make sure that decision makers bring that perspective to it.
What would be the shortest way to explain peace is imperative, to explain that peace can work and that it makes actually economic sense for peace to work?
Well, prevention might cost millions of dollars, but cure costs billions, we've discovered, in terms of the huge cost of reconstructing countries, recreating economic opportunity where it's disappeared as a result of havoc and devastation. And it's just a crazy, crazy thing to lose the opportunity for prevention, lose the opportunity for diplomacy, to plunge into war and then have to try and pick up the pieces. And some pieces, of course, can never be recovered. Lives lost can never be recovered. So the short point is that it might be costly to do the things that are necessary. It might be distracting from things we might prefer to be doing with our time, but it makes a gigantic amount of more sense than sliding into war through inattention or just letting extreme views prevail and not letting moderate views predominate.
So there are about 60 conflicts in the world today, all over the world. You think with all the means available to us and all the peace initiatives around the world, how long will it take to actually achieve world peace?
We're actually doing a lot better than you would think when you look at the day's newspapers and listen to the TV and radio. Since the end of the Cold War, the number of deadly conflicts, serious conflicts involving 1,000 or more people being killed in a year, have dropped about 80%. It's really quite extraordinary. The number of violent massacres, even genocidal type massacres, the number of these things has dropped as compared with what the world experienced in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. There are a number of reasons for that. The end of the Cold War and the proxy wars that the great powers sort of fought against each other, the end of the period of decolonization with all the struggles and the deaths that that caused. But the main reason we've been doing better over the last 15 years, since the end of the Cold War, has been the much greater utilization of the tools of peacemaking, of peacekeeping, of post-conflict peace building. The existence of organizations like mine and many others that are really now seen as pretty effective in ringing the early warning alarm bells and mobilizing high-level government and intergovernmental responses to these situations. So for everything that's still going hopelessly wrong in the Middle East and elsewhere, there are more conflicts over the last 15 years that have been resolved than have started, and there's been a very significant improvement in the situation. So we just have to keep it up. I'm not sure that we'll ever get to a situation of universal peace, but we sure as hell have to hope that we can and keep that very firmly as our goal.
Can I ask one question? Which part of the world makes the most satisfactory efforts to world peace? I mean, which country, which part of the world you think, which region is most working on it?
Well, the most successful peace story in the world over the last half century has been Europe, where after a catastrophic previous half century, millions of lives lost and the sort of nationalism and competing claims between countries that had caused war for centuries, it's become a thing of the past. It's inconceivable that in the European Union countries there could ever be another conflict between them. That doesn't mean that Europe is completely without risk. In the Balkans, Kosovo, these situations are still there. But the best demonstration we could ever have of preventive diplomacy at work and the institutional peacemaking is the European Union, the creation of it. It's by far the world's best example. And that's why I think we should be very willing to continue the process of seeing an enlarged European Union rather than retreating and putting their heads back into the sand in the way so many people want to do. This really is a wonderful recipe for peace, getting that integration, the political, the economic integration and coherence that was so lacking in so many previous centuries at such tragic and terrible cost.
Okay, now the second part of our work is about, it will be about preventive diplomacy.
Yeah, I've got all the questions.
Yes, okay.
Far away.
Sir, what does preventive diplomacy mean to you?
Sorry, is that a buzz? I just heard a buzz.
Yes, I think it's the...
Oh, okay, okay, start again.
What does preventive diplomacy mean to you?
Well, I think the best definition was Winston Churchill's jaw is always better than war. It's self-evident, I think, that if you can put the resources and the effort into preventive activity, negotiating, finding solutions, rather than rushing to the use of arms to solve.
My list of emails.
Just something substantive that was got print, anything. Yeah, okay. Okay.
This is just for a time for
What are we doing on
C'était clinique, moi j'étais en Sicile, mais... We're watching on TV as well, so we don't know exactly which one is going to be on.
Okay.
On Zimbabwe, yeah.
No, well, I just cleared an op-ed printer.